Hello everyone, Trish Harold, President of the Nebraska Firearm Owners Association, and we are Nebraska's voice on Second Amendment issues, followed by almost 30,000 Nebraskans who strongly believe in the rights and freedoms protected by the Second Amendment. We've invited candidates running for Congress, Governor, the Legislature, City Councils, and County Sheriffs to participate in our Online Townhall Series, Meet the Candidates. Our format for this event is an online recorded interview. Each recording is unedited. Our members have prepared questions to assess candidates running for elected office. I'd like to introduce Brett Lindstrom, running for the position of Nebraska Governor. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So our first question is, why did you agree to participate in this online town hall with the Nebraska Firearm Owners Association?
Well, I always like to engage with all different groups and citizens across the state of Nebraska. And as a strong supporter of the Second Amendment and gun rights, I was happy to talk to this group.
Wonderful, thank you. So our members have put together questions and wanted to know, the first one, what's your favorite firearm and how often do you shoot it?
So the favorite one, I have a couple. Depends on I guess what I'm doing is whether or not it's my favorite. I have a Beretta P4 Storm is my handgun. 40 caliber, and then I have a Benelli Super Vinci. So I'd say I have more fun shooting the Super Vinci just because I like pheasant hunting.
Excellent.
So that one, I guess I would go with the Super Vinci.
Wonderful. Now we'd like to hear, what is your opinion on the number one purpose of government?
Protect the citizens.
Excellent. Our members also have several issues of interest. Let's dive in with our next question. What are you going to do to protect Nebraskans from the federal government's attempts to restrict the Second Amendment?
Well, as we've had a lot of oversight or a lot of mandates coming down from the federal government. I'm a federalist when it comes to just my philosophical beliefs and states' rights. And as governor, working with the Attorney General, if there was ever an instance where the federal government was going to overreach on our states' rights, we would sue the federal government, no matter what it is.
Now we're going to go a bit further with some specific issues we are addressing in Nebraska lately. What is your position on the following? Constitutional carry, and what will you do or have done in support of that position?
So I was a co-sponsor of LB 773, Senator Brewer's bill. Voted on it as it went through the process. We were a couple votes short. So we will definitely, I'm guessing the legislature, Senator Brewer will bring that back, and as governor I'd be happy to sign it into law.
Awesome. Let's next talk about red flag laws and what we do or have done in support of that position.
I can't remember if it was Senator Moorfeld or brought a bill opposed red flag laws and will continue to do so.
As one of the few states without it, let's discuss your thoughts on state preemption of firearm laws and what we do or have done in support of that position.
Yeah, I have supported Senator Ebke's bill from years ago. As it being here 8 years, it seems like a long time ago, but I supported her just making sure that if you're carrying a firearm, that say an ordinance in Omaha and Lincoln doesn't allow somebody to get into trouble, and so I would like to make sure that we're clear across the board that we have gun rights no matter where you're in the state of Nebraska.
Recently, we had an opportunity to address some much-needed protections via LB 300, which was a expansion or really a clarification of what Castle Doctrine really means. What are your thoughts on Castle Doctrine, and what will you do or have done in support of that position?
I guess this year we were focused on 773, so I'd have to look back at the LB 300. But as far as the Castle Doctrine, I would support anybody's ability or right to protect themselves and their house and family. So as governor, I would support anything that moving forward.
So the biggest part of that particular clarification in that bill was within our current legislation, or really current statutes, we do not have the ability to remain in a place where we are legally allowed to be and have what's called a duty to retreat. What are your thoughts on that?
I would support the ability to stand your ground and not retreat, to protect yourself, and would support those bills as they move forward and sign those.
In general, are there any specific gun laws you think you should get repealed?
Not off the top of my head. I have to go through, I'm not sitting on I think most of those bills go through government or sometimes maybe judiciary. I don't sit on those committees, so looking at the statutes themselves, but I think if we do constitutional carry, that'll cover a lot of the necessary and the needs to make sure we protect our rights as citizens.
So the Nebraska Firearm Owners Association really believes in education. What are your thoughts or position on mandating firearm safety classes or programs in K through 12 public schools?
That's a good question. Necessarily don't agree with mandates from the top down. I think if a school district chooses to do so, I would be supportive of that.
Being a 2A supporter, what is your position on the intent and purpose of the Second Amendment?
Well, let's go put my history major hat, or as a history major. It's basically our ability to push back against government. If the line between chaos and civility is very thin, and when you think about just as an individual, my right to protect myself, my family, not only from any type of perpetrator, but an overreach in government is vital. It's going back to why America is so strong in the built-in militia that we have across this nation, and why there has been, never anybody that's landed on our shores, is because we have that built-in militia across the country. But it goes back to just, again, your ability, and it's the reason why it's the Second Amendment and not lower down the list, is because it's so vital to protecting our individual rights and freedoms as citizens of the United States.
Lastly, let's go ahead and move on to the Nebraska Constitution. How will Article 1, Section 1, the Statement of Rights of the Nebraska Constitution, impact your decision-making in the role you are pursuing?
I'd have to get up to date on the Constitution, or what was it, Article
So
1?
Article 1, Section 1 was actually amended by the people in the 80s to make more explicit, really, the Second Amendment rights, preserving our rights and freedoms to, for all lawful purposes, own, possess, and transport firearms, and really established an expectation that municipalities and cities would not have the right to infringe on Second Amendment rights.
So I support that. And I think if there are, what's happened is some of the cities have taken steps to do that. That's why we have the preemption issues that we have, and we'll work to make sure that we continue to make that fight, going back to that intent of what they did in the 80s.
Wonderful. So these videos are going to be coming out about a week before the primary. What would you like to share with those who are watching today as far as getting in contact with your campaign and learning more about you?
So we have votelindstrom.com is our website. We're on Facebook, Twitter. I know we have Instagram, although I'm not the Insta, as the kids say. So feel free to reach out to us if there's any questions on different issues, topics. But just know that, over the last 8 years, I've supported pro-Second Amendment bills. We'll continue to do so as governor, and I look forward to signing some of those laws moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator.